Trapped with a ghostly husband. Chapter 1. What a perfect match they are. It all began with a grand wedding ceremony that took place at a well-known exhibition center in Fairfort City. The guests invited to this wedding were all upper-class celebrities and scions of distinguished families. At this moment, the wedding ceremony was reaching its climax. Dressed in an off-the-shoulder wedding dress, the bride walked in step by step from outside the conference hall to the center stage while holding a bridal bouquet. Champagne roses carpeted the entire aisle. Under normal circumstances, the groom should have been waiting for the bride's arrival long ago. But only the lone bride and the MC, whose facial expression was exaggerated, were the only ones on stage. However, the guests off stage felt nothing abnormal about this situation. At this moment, the MC on the stage delivered the congratulatory wedding speech with great joy and enthusiasm. Congratulations to Miss Yvonne Page and Mr. Henry Kingston, who tied the knot on this warm and blossoming spring day. The two of them are really a handsome couple and a match made in heaven. But before the MC could finish delivering his speech, a gust of wind blew past them and lifted Yvonne's bridal veil, revealing a hideous and horribly swollen face that could not even be covered up with superb makeup skills. The guests present couldn't help but gasp when their eyes fell upon Yvonne's face. One of the guests even cried out uncontrollably, "Isn't this too disgusting?" As soon as that person blurted out those words, the other guests began whispering among themselves sarcastically as well. Young Master Henry is now a badly disfigured living corpse. TSK. TSK. What's wrong with finding such a mate for him? The fact that the Page family sent a daughter to suffer beside a living corpse in order to curry favor with the Kingston family is quite bold of them too. Ha! You're right. Who else other than a living dead would dare take such a woman as a wife? Otherwise, could she even be married off? You have a point. I heard that she was recently brought back from the countryside and is ill-educated. The comments off stage slowly turned offensive, and Yvonne could vaguely hear some of them even though she was a bit far away from the guests. Quickly, she put out her hand to press her veil down. The MC then rattled on and on about the bride and groom being well suited for each other, to which the guests off stage responded by laughing and talking with greater derision. After the MC had finally finished delivering his perfunctory speech, Yvonne lifted the skirt of her wedding dress and descended the stage alone, preparing to seat herself at the banquet table to have something to eat. However, she had barely walked a few steps when a woman stopped her directly and said, "The old master wants you to go back to the Kingston residence and keep young Master Henry company. That way, it can foster the spousal relationship between you two." Yvonne was stunned. How was she supposed to foster a relationship with a badly disfigured vegetable? Was this going to be a horror story? Seeing that Yvonne was silent, the woman gave her a sneer. "The chauffeur is waiting for you at the door," she said before ordering the few bodyguards next to her. "Send young Mistress Kingston back to the Kingston residence." Yvonne let out a sigh. "It seems like I can't even have a bite at my own wedding banquet today," she thought to herself. Meekly, she replied, "I understand." Her voice was surprisingly soft, sweet, and melodious, just like a piece of flowing music. It sounded so soothing to the ears that the woman was dazed for a moment. By the time she came back to her senses, Yvonne had already followed the few bodyguards out of the wedding venue unaccompanied. Staring at Yvonne from behind, the woman said with a disdainful look, "As expected, she is an ugly thing who is unpresentable to the public. Nonetheless, she is a perfect match for the current young Master Henry." Ever since becoming a vegetable after the accident, young Master Henry was now a disgraced and abandoned worthless piece of trash in the Kingston family. The fact that he was fixed up with a random, ugly woman was enough proof of the Kingston family's attitude toward the young master. The two of them were a perfect couple indeed. Welcome to download Joyread app to read more chapters of Trapped with a Ghostly Husband novel online.